If it hurts, game breaks, we'll get you, know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, slides, through the games after this win in. Press you again, here for the first May. Can everybody keep it there for 6 minutes?
Rocky Top! You'll always be.
Unbelievable place. Great university. Knoxville's unbelievable city. Great people. The passion for football is even greater than I thought it would be. And man, Neyland Stadium, I said it, a couple of years ago, and I still think it's the best football experience for a college football fan or a player in the country.
Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me?
Yes,
all right.
I mean, Peyton Manning said it best year one when we got here. He looked at Coach Heupel and he goes, man, if the Colts lose, I'm all right. If the Broncos lose, I'm good. He goes, but if the Vols lose on Saturday, it hurts my soul. And there's a lot of other people. There's 103,000 people every Saturday who will say the same thing, and there's probably 1 million more watching at home. So it's important here, and those guys feel that.
A game like this, you kind of do as you're playing for another game, but that's what this work gonna go into next season. So we make sure we playing at this time next year. That's the goal. To be playing at this time next year and going forward to another game, but. As soon as we finish this game, I told everybody it's just time to go to work. Everybody ready to go to work. Like, it's time to drop off the grid and just show up in 2024 ready to dominate.
And yeah, other than that, I think just the fans. I love the fans, the culture here. And yeah, that's pretty much what I chose.
I'm gonna have to get him to start watching my film in the off season too.
Obviously, I watch Coach Hines' old clips. It's kind of like black because they ain't got that. You ain't got
Black and white.
they ain't got the black and white film up, man.
Do you remember when we fell in love? I remember, don't worry. Do you remember? I remember how it all began. How could I ever forget? It's the first time. Do you remember? I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it coming in the air now. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. It's coming in the air now. Oh, oh, we fell in love. You remember how could I ever forget? You remember oh, oh, we fell in love. You remember how could I ever forget? Coming in the air now.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. I hope you guys are having a great Friday. Man, we have some fun on Friday mornings, but this may be, I think this may be a little something special. There may be a little something to Talkin VAWLS live on a Friday night. My name is Boogie Bentley. I'm joined by a guy that's got a lot on his plate right now. But look, I said a lot going on. I put up the bat signal. I told Coach Rice, said we're going live. He's like, I'm in, Boogie. Give me the microphone. I'm ready to roll. I sent Coach Jay a courtesy text. I said, I know you got a lot going on. You want a distraction? You want to come? I always feel guilty, man. I tell JP this every Wednesday. I'm like, there is no pressure. But sometimes I want you guys to know I want you to be a part of this. I love having you guys on. So I sent out the text. Coach Jay, glad to have you on the show, my man.
Happy to be here, man. Happy to be on the other side. For those of you who don't know, it's been a rough couple days for Coach over here. His mom went through brain surgery on Wednesday, man, and all of you who have been praying for her, man, that just means the world to me. And it went really well. The long road to recovery has begun, but just grateful for this Tennessee volunteer football family and all your guys' kind words, man. Like I always say on here, football is family. So love it, appreciate it, and extremely grateful to be around you guys and hug your family extra tight and all that.
Yeah, you sound like me on a Tuesday night with little
Yeah,
James
get
Taylor
me all
playing.
choked up, man. Like,
Dude, you talk
gotta
about
swallow
football
that
as
one. Gotta
family.
swallow that last one.
Talkin VAWLS Network is family. We're going to give Coach Jay a little distraction tonight. We're gonna talk about football. We're going to continue praying for Coach Jay and his mom. We're in this thing together, but I thought this would be a fun little distraction. Gave him the opportunity. We're going to jump in here. We're going to hang out. We're going to talk some ball football. Coach Rice is in the house. You ready for the microphone tonight, aren't you?
Man, hey, I sent you a message earlier. I said, give me the floor and I'll preach.
Dude, there's so much, there's so many layers. We're going to talk about Alabama's hire at head coach, how that impacts Tennessee. We're going to break down the transfer portal. We're going to talk a little recruiting. We're going to have some fun tonight. We'll see what you guys want to talk about. James Fair right here says, Mindy. We'll call him Mindy, James. I think Mindy fits
that
him.
works.
We'll talk about Gerald Mincey to Kentucky. The news just broke. I think this is comical. I think it's comical for one reason particularly. He says, let's work, Big Blue Nation. And then you see this right here. You see where he says he limits who can reply to his tweet? Man up. Man up and take your beating like a man. We may not be able to comment, right? We may not be able to comment, but I do want to wish Gerald Mincey the best. I want to say I hope the future is bright, and I want to send this special heartfelt tribute out to Gerald Mincey.
Mark Stoops is 2-9 against this team, and to walk around this place before the game, I was disgusted. The smugness of those guys just walking around like, we're going to walk in here, we're going to kick your ass, and you can't do anything about it. And it made me sick. And you know what? They did it. They still did it. What the hell? Can we just beat this team? I know that Mark Stoops has done a lot of good things. This is his one really bad thing. The stupid stat about beating teams with a winning record and taking the next step and blah, blah. Just freaking beat Tennessee. Please, can we just stop losing to this stupid team with their stupid orange color, their stupid
Western Hall, so
Best of luck.
Mincey's going to be having nightmares of James Pierce and Joshua Joseph and Tyree West, and the whole shebang. Jordan Ross, Caleb Herron. It's just going to keep coming, and Mincey's going to hate every single snap come next year.
Not to bury the lead, because we're going to get into the transfer portal. We're going to talk about the mysterious Lance Hurd. That's an upgrade. Give me Lance Hurd over Gerald Mincey, especially, you look at the grand scheme of things. Yeah. You're talking about a guy with 1 year of eligibility left versus a guy with a whole lot of football in front of him. And Coach Jay, number one player for LSU last cycle.
I know we're all anxiously awaiting that commitment, right, man? It's absolutely huge. You get him on campus and you throw him in with the starting five that we got. I mean, man, Coach Hype's going to be licking his chops. And Nico goes through his progressions extremely quickly, as we all saw, right? Hitting 4 progressions really quick. But he had 0 time to throw that football in that bowl game versus Iowa. You start to give him 4 and 5 seconds to throw the football, he will absolutely surgically dismantle any defense in the SEC, and he'll do it with a calm, cool Polynesian smile on his face while he does it. So, yeah, that kid is going to be a huge, huge haul. I think last I saw, he had another crystal ball, and It's in the high 99s. I know we've gotten the also famous GIF from AP over in the general's quarters. So it looks like we're just awaiting some pretty dang fantastic news, if you ask me. So man, I'm about ready to run through a wall with what this offense can do in the 24 season.
We'll see how far we get in this stream. I have about 27 tabs opened at the top of the internet. We'll see how far we get. We got some way too early season predictions. I don't know if we'll get that far or not. We're going to have a good time regardless. Let's see who the early arrivals were this afternoon, this evening. Max Salzman was in the house, says, woo, he was here at 5:46. The Legacy C was here, said, Herd is killing me. I get it, bro. Guess what? I've had a video recorded for Lance Hurd for 3 days. It's to the point now where I'm like, I'm probably going to have to re-record it because I have no idea what I even said in that video. Vol Fan for Life is here, says Hurd is in the boat, just not been announced. Daniel Campbell is here. Bubbles is in the house. What's up, my friend? Fish and Beans is here. Robert Tuck is here. Ethan is in the house. What is up, Ethan? Connor is here. How about Gerard Mayo? Shout out to that VFL. I'm kind of surprised. I'm not going to deep dive and talk NFL because I don't really care. Coach Rice, were you surprised that Gerard Mayo is getting that opportunity?
No, I'm not. I mean, he's been the name that's been floated around there as far as when Bill Belichick was going to retire. So I thought that was just, an easy transition and someone that the Patriots were obviously comfortable with.
Excited for him, man. I'm excited to see a VFL. And what a player Gerard Mayo was at Tennessee as well. Matt Dumit's in the house. What is up, my friend? Says, go Big Orange. David Hall is here. Go Vols, just listening. We also got some super chats. Good old Nate Pruitt for 5 says, cover charge Boogie. God bless. And go Vols. Hate to see Saban leave, but still don't give a damn about the whole state of Alabama. That's what Nate said. I felt like I was going to play the clip, but I won't play the clip. I'll save it for later. Matt Zimmerman for 5. Dorothy Boogie. I'm fired up about the team that we're putting together right now. Go Big Orange. We're going to talk about the portal, and then we're going to grade the portal. We're going to grade how Josh Heupel and his coaching staff has done thus far in the portal. That's coming up a little bit later in the show, so stay tuned for that. Papa J for 5. Dorothy and happy Nick Satan is gone. Now it is time for Smart's team to get into trouble with their driving. Won't be long. Hate Georgia. F Georgia. Dude, some crazy stuff, man. People tagging me up on Twitter. None of it surprises me, though. Absolutely none of it surprises me. David Hall for 2 says it's great to be a Tennessee Vol. Thank you, David, for the super chat. Will Murley for 2. Don't give a damn about the whole state of Alabama. I'm with you, Will. Also, Jeff Puckett for 5. I'm so glad to hear it went well, Coach Jay. We'll definitely continue to pray for her recovery. Love you, brother. Man, I love the family atmosphere, the community. Like, that word gets thrown around a lot. We got it. We got it right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. You can't fake it. You can't. It's organic. It's natural. Speaking of organic and natural, this came together Tuesday night. I didn't even bring it up on my video today. I completely forgot. The chosen one. We've all seen the tweet from Hendon Hooker that Nico Iamaleava is the chosen one. He said 8. He used the magic 8 ball. That's what he said when he said that Nico was the chosen one. So we've brought you this brand new Talkin VAWLS shirt, the chosen one with a magic 8 ball. I love it. It's clean. Every design we come up with, I say that Kevin nailed it. I think he nailed this one. I think we messed with the font, the tilt, the angles, where to put the 8 ball. I love it. This is a great shirt. You can get it in a t-shirt. We've also got hoodies, long sleeve tees. We got tank tops for Coach Jay when he's out there having a margarita on the beach. We got premium hoodies, regular hoodies, racerbacks. Are they racerbacks? I don't know, but Mrs. Coach Jay makes me add it every time. Is that what it is? Is it a racerback? Is that?
I think it's Razorback, but I could be totally wrong. One of the gals, if they're in the chat, will have to correct me. I think it's Razor though.
I never know. And then this women's flowy crop tee, I don't even know what that is, but we've got it right here, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS.
Oh, you mean that wasn't for guys?
I was hoping that.
Dang it! I already ordered mine,
dude. I was hoping Coach Rice would get that flowy cropped, dude. Just belly out. I'm here for it.
There you go.
I'm here for it. We also got the Cult of 8 shirts. People asking where are the Cult of Jake shirts. Probably when Nico throws his first interception, we'll roll out the Cult of Jake shirts. We got Talkin VAWLS letter theme shirts. Danny White brought back the letters. All that's there. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. All the merch you could possibly want. The link's in the description. I'm not going to do any more plugs or shilling. Just smash the thumbs up, share out the link. You guys know what to do. I want to talk football. That's what we're here to talk about. We talk college football. More specifically, we talk Tennessee football every single day of the year. That's what we're going to do tonight. The top of the hour, the top of the show is this. Alabama has their man, Kalen DeBoer, as their new head coach. This is an article from ESPN. It's got a couple of talking points that I want to get into with it. Me and Coach Rice were kind of laughing in the back. I won't spoil it for Coach Jay. What did you think of that? I'm glad you came on, because when I saw that he was hired, I remember specifically when we were talking about college football playoff, you said, watch out for Washington. They are a good football team. So as a Tennessee fan, what do you think of this hire for Alabama?
I I hate to be wishy-washy, but I have mixed feelings about the hire, I guess is what I'm going to say. I think he was a great hire. He's also someone that is very new, right, and isn't established in recruiting yet. What was the old mantra when Heupel came to Tennessee, right? Like, can he recruit? And we all kind of felt like he could, but it had to be proven. I think the same is true for Coach DeBoer, with the caveat that he doesn't really have the same ties in the region that Josh Heupel had, and specifically in Florida and Missouri, Oklahoma, throughout the Southeast. Heupel's kind of had a big footprint in there. Who's he going to bring on to be his There's questions, I guess, is what I'm saying. I have is who's going to be his defensive coordinator? Is he going to bring his current defensive coordinator with him? Because that guy was boo-boo, right? That standard isn't going to cut it at Alabama, right? It's not going to work in Alabama for them to march that defense onto the field. And then also, he's extremely new, right? So the scrutiny under him, like Heupel was a national championship coach. I mean, not coach, player, right? He was a Heisman Trophy type player. He was around great teams on Oklahoma. He was on a really, really stingy Missouri team. He'd been in the Southeastern Conference. Went over to UCF and had some pretty good years. Did Kalen DeBoer catch lightning in a bottle, with Michael Penix? We're about to find out, right? Because he's so new onto the scene, and it's also different when you go to a blue blood SEC program, right? Like, how many times have you seen like an awesome player go to the Yankees and then they bomb out, right? Because it's different when the lights are on you every day, right? It's different when, that loss to Michigan was unacceptable. If Michael Penix during that and Coach DeBoer were in that national championship game versus Michigan, that would have been unacceptable loss, not a good thing, right? It's just different when you have that kind of scrutiny under you. No matter what you're doing in life, right? You're under that much of a microscope. You're not going to sneak up on anyone like you did. You're not entering a conference that is really reeling. Now, he does have the advantage of being set up nicely, and he was in Washington too. Chris Peterson did a nice job with the program and laying the framework after being at Boise, and Jimmy Lake did a great job as well in 2000 and 2021 before he went on to the Rams to do a pretty good job coordinating for them. So we'll see how his game translates. I don't think it was Alabama's first choice, and because it was Alabama's first choice, not their first choice, he will be celebrated at first, I believe. But if players start leaving, if they don't start recruiting right, as soon as there's cracks, how will that be judged, and how quickly will he be judged? How short will the leash be when they play Georgia week 3? Say they go into that Georgia game and get beat by 14. What's that look like? Yeah, we'll see. But a great offensive mind, a brilliant offensive mind. Could coach a paper bag to score a touchdown, no doubt about it. Is he ready for that big of a step up is what remains to be seen. Because I do believe this: if you would have taken Josh Heupel's Hendon Hooker team the year we beat Alabama and dropped them into that same Pac-12 scenario, they would have been in the national championship game too. So
I knew,
we'll see how it goes.
I knew you would bring a narrative and perspective that made me think, all right, everything's going to be just fine. Like, I've been looking for cracks, right? I've been looking for cracks why he's not going to work. And there are a lot of cracks there. There are a lot of things that we can spin to say, to cast doubt on this hire. 25-3 at Washington, 25-3. The stat, everybody, I see people in the chat talking about Dan Lanning and talking about Steve Sarkisian. He's also beat Lincoln Riley. He's 7-0 against Dan Lanning, Steve Sarkisian, and Lincoln Riley. I did not want them to get Dan Lanning. I was so glad to see him turn it down. Norvell, turn it down. Now, did they turn it down, or are they using it for leverage? Nobody really knows. It's what happens every time there's a coaching search. But I'm way more happy to see DeBoer there than I would be if Dan Lanning was coming to Alabama, or even Steve Sarkisian. I don't know about Lincoln Riley. Josh Pate, I was watching his video on it. He said an insanely good hire. We're going to go through this article here. Go ahead, Coach Jay, and then we'll see.
There is one other little quick caveat that I actually wanted to get Coach Rice's opinion on. You know, as a lot of you know, I coach D, but I really do love getting offense coordinators' perspective on things. Do you think Milroe can run that style of offense? Okay, see, that's my big problem right now with this hire, is your current personnel does not dictate this offense. It is a huge crack, and I get, you know, I get Retro, the UGA fan, and saying that there won't be much of a drop off. But if you ask Milroe to run that Washington offense, they'll lose 4 games next year. So are they bringing in Dylan Gabriel? What are they doing at quarterback is my question.
Why is Nick Saban the GOAT? Because he changes his schemes based on the players he has. Go ahead, Coach Rice.
Yeah, well, hey, I told you before the stream, as far as hire goes, I mean, other than Dan Lanning and Sarkisian, and obviously we knew Kirby Smart wasn't leaving Georgia, I think he was the 4th best choice. I would have rather seen Mike Norvell go to Bama, because I don't think he would have fit good with Bama. But as far as X's and O's, this dude has it. As far as being a player's coach, getting his players to buy in, you wouldn't have the winning record he has wherever he goes if he wasn't a good coach. And I was telling guys at work, some people about this at work today, where he's going to have to really show up in the first couple of years is the recruiting. He doesn't have a blueprint around the South that some of these other coaches have in their first couple of years being a new head coach in this area. He's got to learn how to recruit in the SEC. It's a totally different game than what it was out there on the Pac-12. Not saying he ain't going to be able to do it, because, I mean, he can down the road. It also is going to matter who he has around him, what hires he brings in. I know Coach Jay kind of mentioned it a little bit. What OC he brings in. Does he bring the OC from Washington? Does the OC from Washington stay and be the new head coach in Washington? I've heard that rumor floating around. So we all know he's going to have to make because of he's an offensive genius. That's one reason why I was pulling for Washington, and because I'm an offensive guy. I love the way he runs his offense. It's a modern, it has some NFL scheme in it. You know, he's a guy that he's going to have to hire the right DC, and we'll see where it goes. With what Coach Jay brought up, the Jalen Milroe situation, is Jalen Milroe going to take the leap of faith in DeBoer, and can you modify what you do to fit my skill set? Because that's what Nick Saban was great at. That's why he's one of the greatest coaches of all time, no matter what he had on his roster. Granted, they had probably the most talented roster every year he was there, besides maybe the first couple. He was able to modify what he did to create a successful team. So does DeBoer get to Milroe and put him in a successful situation, in a successful offense, which we've all seen Milroe. Milroe has talent, but he's limited to certain things they run. the Washington offense, if you watch Penix the last couple years and the offenses he's ran in the past, you have to make several reads, and it's not a simple half field read. It's not identify one guy. You're tons of multiple reads, high lows, and reading not just half the field or reading one guy. His offense is very, very, I guess, detail oriented. That's why it's so successful, and Penix was good at it. So can DeBoer or whoever the quarterback is there, adjust to what they're doing in the SEC. I mean, we've seen Milroe, like we said, but can he do it in the Washington offense, not the Alabama offense? And this is just going to take I know I'm going, but the Michigan, the Washington, there's even more steps that's fixing to come into play with the Alabama changing of head coaches. The Washington's going to change the head coach. We all think Michigan's going to end up having to change head coaches. So this is just the first of many steps to happen, and it all looks good for Tennessee.
Yep. I love the points that both of you guys bring up. One of the things that I'm trying to sell myself on why this is not going to work, right? That's ultimately what I was doing right out of the gate. But the first thing that came up is recruiting in the Southeast. You got no relationships in the Southeast. Yeah. And, I was listening to Josh Pate give me the reasons why that doesn't matter. And if you've got the charisma and if you can walk in and you're a used car salesman, none of that matters. You're going to be able to recruit in the Southeast. But I don't buy that, man. I think relationships are important. If you don't have those relationships in the Southeast, I think that's going to be a problem. Coach Jay brought up the pressure. Look, you're following the greatest college football coach of all time. I don't use that term lightly. It's the reality. I hate Nick Saban. I hate Alabama. He's the greatest college football coach of all time. The expectations at Alabama are national championships. That's it. So many of their fans couldn't tell you who coached prior to Nick Saban. All they know is Nick Saban. All they know is national championships. I said in the video when he announced his retirement, it's like Deion at Colorado. People don't even know where Boulder, Colorado is, but they're Colorado fans because of Deion. That's the same thing. Like all these kids and all these middle schools and elementary schools and even high schools rocking the Alabama stuff, they have no freaking clue. No clue. They cannot tell you the history of Alabama football. They love them because they win. The pressure is high. The expectations are high. Can you come to the SEC and compete? We're going to get back to this conversation. Got a bunch of super chats to catch up on. James Fair for 2 says, what if Madden goes off next year? Do we keep GMAC? Madden's the fallback, and Madden is that rare situation where you maybe take 2 quarterbacks. I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't think Madden's going to come here. If GMAC comes here, Coach Jay, you want to shed a little light on that?
I don't see it happening. Yeah, I think Madden if in fact GMAC does stay in the boat, which all signs point to that's what's going to happen right now. I think Madden moves on, and I think he's a good enough quarterback to stand on his own and move on. And there's a ton of programs with a ton of interest in him on the West Coast, so I think he'll really thrive. But Macintyre's just a high recruit, an in-state kid, and furthermore, he's a kid that checks every hypo box there is. When you watch their game, he's Nico-esque, right, Coach Rice? Like,
dude, but did you get that from his sophomore film though? I told you I want to watch his junior tape. We're going to watch it here in just a little bit. I didn't get it as much in his sophomore tape.
He had a better offensive line.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was.
There you go. Yeah, but just just as far as his arm talent too is just that he can just zip the ball wherever he needs to on the field very easily. He's very fluid through his reads. His pre-snap stuff is extremely fluid as well, and he's a big tall lanky kid, but is athletic at the same time. I swear, like Yeah, I swear that's like Nico's brother from another mother, man. It's a little scary, and what I think it is it's just that's the kind of kid Heupel wants, and lo and behold, he happens to be in state. So you got to put your chips in that basket and let the rest fall where they may.
I know we did the film breakdown, Deuce Knight versus George McIntyre. I think we're gonna have to do another film breakdown video on George's junior film. That's how much I like it. And again, we'll watch some of it here in just a little bit. Crystal for $2 says finally a crop top. She left off the back half of that. She meant to say finally a crop top for Coach Rice. She left off.
Exactly.
It's because it was $2. You're limited, so she couldn't put the whole thing in there. Thank you, Crystal, for the super chat. Jeff Puckett for 5. Speaking of transfer portal, it's now open for 30 days for Alabama and Washington players. Think any will jump in. We got a couple. We got a couple. We're going to talk about coming up here in just a little bit after we get through this Alabama deal. We're going to talk a little George McIntyre. We're going to talk a little recruiting. We're going to talk the portal, and there are some Alabama and Washington players worth taking a look at. Pit Boss becomes a member. Thank you for that support. Guys, we got 511 people watching in January. Y'all realize it's January the 12th? This used to be a post-game show like 2 years ago, and now you guys are tuning in on January the 12th on a Friday night to hang out and talk Tennessee football. We appreciate your support. Thank you, Pit Boss, for the support. Guys, you want to really drive this channel forward, hit that join button down below. It is $1 freaking $1, but your support in the offseason is what allows me to do this. I'm grateful for every member. Think about hitting that join button. Thank you, Pit Boss, for hitting the join button down below. VOLS, go Vols, go. $2. How well would G-Mac fit into the Boer offense, though? I think that was the nail in the coffin. I think Saban retiring was the nail in the coffin, but I don't know if it's necessarily offense as much as it is relationships, right? You've been going through this process of relationships with Josh Heupel and Nick Saban, and now Nick Saban's out the door, and now all the predictions are coming in for Tennessee. Ralph Keith drops a 50 spot. We appreciate that. That is very generous. We'll play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man.
I feel like Ralph Keith is the man, so I'm going to play this one too.
To be the man, you got to beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here.
Ralph Keith for 50. Says, hey, Boogie, like I said on X this morning, let's do this show tonight. I appreciate you always, brother. So here's a little coin for you. GBO Natty 2024. Well, you got to thank a lot more people than me. I got a lot going on tomorrow, but also had an opportunity this afternoon to get some stuff done. Got some stuff done, and I texted Mrs. Boogie, and I said, you know what? I think everybody wants us to go live. I think I'm going to go live tonight. She's like, whatever you think. Whatever you want to do. And I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to text Coach Rice. And if Coach Rice says yes, we're going live. If he says no, we're not. He's like, damn it, Boogie, let's roll, baby. So shout out to Mrs. Boogie. Shout out to Coach Rice. And then Coach Jay, man, that was the icing on top of the cupcake. So shout out, Ralph. Appreciate the super chat, brother. Jeff Puckett gives 5 Talkin VAWLS memberships. That ain't cheap either. Brody Bailey, Dan Porter, Randy Wilson, Kelly Goodwin, Ethan Kirkland all get free Talkin VAWLS memberships. We appreciate that, Jeff. Louisiana Vol member for 9 months, about to give birth to his Talkin VAWLS baby. Says Sanders is a terrible coach. He went to a 1-11 team, brought his guys, and had a 4-8 season. Alex Golish went to USF, 0-12, went 7-6 without a bunch of 5 stars. I agree with that. I was having some fun with it. Dion was a fun story, man. Early in the year, Coach Jay telling me why I'm an idiot. He was right. I was wrong, but dang it, we had some fun with it. Ryan Davis for 5. So tired of waiting for Hurd to announce where he's going to play in 2024. Guess what? It's going to be Tennessee. We're going to get into that in just a little bit, but patience. Patience, young Padawan. The Griff, 967, drops a 20 spot. That's an orange boy. We'll do it.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
He says, about to hit date night with the wife. Have a drink on me. Cheers. He says, Hype is going to beat DeBoer's ass October the 19th. All right, let's have some fun with that question. Coach Jay, Who you taking, Tennessee or Alabama in Neyland Stadium? New coach. How you feeling, Nico?
I feel great now, man. I felt good about it before, though. I'll be honest with you guys. I feel even better about it now. As I have mentioned to you before, there's kind of 3 different bye weeks that Coach Jay could have over his next season that are possibilities, and the Bama game happens to be really like 5 weeks, but 3 that I could go to a Tennessee game in Neyland. But yeah, the Bama game is one of them, and God willing, and the creek don't rise, I'll be there to smoke a big fat stogie and have a dance and witness the new Bama coach be 0-1 against the Tennessee Volunteers. So I feel good about it, man. I feel really good about it. We'll see. There's many a slip between the cup and the lip. We'll see who they end up with in the portal. We'll see how the recruiting hangs out. We'll see how many of their current freshmen stick in after the spring. I tend to think a lot of them, but we'll see how that one goes as well.
Where are you placing your bet, Coach Rice? Man, I was thinking today about creating a FanDuel account, getting in there with Coach Jay. You're going to get me divorced, Coach Jay. I'm going to become a gambling addict. Coach Rice, who you placing your money on? Tennessee, Alabama.
I'm all in, baby. All in on
go.
the balls. All in. Hey,
I love it.
Hey, it's go time, baby. I told you yesterday. Hey, Natty 2024. Let's do it.
I like this right here from Culberson. I was picking Tennessee this year with or without Saban. That's kind of where I was at. I was feeling pretty dang confident too. This is just a little motivation here. James Michael for $20. That ain't cheap. That's Orange Boy. We'll do it again. Why not? We'll do it all night long. We got 500 people watching. We'll listen to Pat McAfee sing all night long.
Rocky Top!
James Michael says, GBO, great job. I appreciate that. James, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the support. Glad you enjoy what we do around here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. Let me say this right now. We got 500 people watching live. I did not expect 500 people to be here. I expected maybe 200-300 people to be here. 500 people. Hit the thumbs up. That's quick, free, and easy. Hit the share button. Takes a little bit more time. You hit share, it's going to ask you where do you want to share it. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, MySpace. You want to put Boogie in your top 8, whatever you want to do. You want to add me on Facebook? You can. Shoot me a friend request, Boogie Bentley. Taking all friend requests now on that new account. But we get to 700 people. 700 people watching live. I'll give away two of the Chosen One t-shirts. So let's grow this chat. Let's get it to 700. Put it on Twitter. Put it on Facebook. Put it on Instagram. Let people know we're live. We get to 700 live viewers. We'll give away 2 of those Chosen One t-shirts. Matt Zimmerman gives 5 Talkin VAWLS memberships. Y'all going nuts tonight. What is wrong with you all? Let's see who gets them. John Harvey gets a free membership. Joe Ray. Philip Owens gets a free membership. Trent Boyd. Dylan Tranum. Calling out all the lurkers getting exposed. I love it. Shout out, Matt. Appreciate that, brother. Ryan Davis for 5. Hope Jalen Wright and Jabari Small go to the Titans and New York Giants, respectively, in 2024 draft. Thank you, Ryan, for the super chat. We appreciate it. Let's get back. This is something that I also thought about with everything going on with this hire. What is Saban's new role at Alabama, and how does it affect DeBoer? Saban's going to have an office in the building. He is going to have an office. He is the greatest college football coach of all time. Coach Jay, you were talking about the pressure, the expectations that are going to be on you coming to Alabama, Southeastern Conference. They don't get any higher. The stakes don't get higher if Nick Saban's in the building. And I know he was making phone calls to recruits after his retirement. I get it. The dude's a workaholic. I can maybe relate a little bit sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You're the new coach coming in. Nick Saban's got an office down the hallway. How much pressure is that on you?
Yeah, to me, it's not so much him being right down the hall. It's just, the shadow that's been casted over that program. And it's a good shadow, right? But it's big shoes to fill, man. So will it be nice to go over there and sit down and, ask him what's what? Yeah, sure. And is that a huge tool you can use? Yeah, sure. But listen, ultimately, it's going to be his show, right? And the buck is going to stop with him. So, he might be able to find out where the water cooler is a little better. He might be able to get a warmer introduction to a coaching staff in high school than he would have gotten without maybe a call and a nudge through the door from Saban walking in there and making a friendly introduction. But listen, he's going to have to stand on his own if that program's going to succeed, right?
Yeah.
Because right now, there's fifth graders who don't really know who Nick Saban is, right? They know Bama football is good, but they don't know all that history, right?
Yeah.
There's seventh graders that don't know all that history, and those are going to be those kids that he needs to make a relationship with, right? He's not going to make a deep-rooted relationship with kids that are seniors and juniors right now. He's going to have to start in on the sophomores, on the freshmen, on the eighth graders, on the seventh graders, and he's going to have to stand on his own, right? When it comes time for them to commit, they won't be committing to Nick Saban down the hall because he says give them a chance. Yeah, you might get one or two kids to do that this year. But the years after that, they're going to do it based on what Coach DeBoer does next year. And, that could be a tough road to hoe for them. I mean, do you have the Alabama schedule handy?
I can pull it up.
Yeah,
I got
pop
Google.
that sucker up.
I
Pop
got
that
Google.
sucker up. Let's talk about it real quick.
They got Georgia coming to Bama, third game of the season next year.
Yeah, I know that game's early.
That's
but
the big one. And then, of course, you got at Tennessee, and of course, they still have LSU.
Follow it with Missouri,
Yeah.
and then go to LSU. If I'm remembering that correct, but you have to pop this up.
All right, there you go, right there.
There you go.
Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in for you older folk.
Then they got to go to Oklahoma, and they got. Wisconsin. Wisconsin first game. First tough.
Western
game
Kentucky.
Yeah. What I'm saying.
First tough game. I got you.
As a head coach at a new place at Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a tough place to play. I don't care. I mean, lucky for him, it's in September and not in November. But that schedule
are there 3 losses on that schedule?
Yeah. Yes, there is. Yeah, and Tennessee being one of them.
Georgia at Tennessee, at LSU, at Oklahoma. He could be 4 losses on that team.
And Missouri. You
Auburn.
can't exclude Missouri next year.
Always.
I hate to say that, but Missouri's going to be good next year, and that's a tough schedule. That for a first-year head coach, coming into waters he ain't never messed with.
He's lucky you don't have to play Ole Miss.
How many losses are forgivable if you're a Bama fan?
Georgia's forgivable. That's it,
right?
Yeah.
So if they end up with 3 losses, you think the Bama faithful are going to be happy?
No, that's the biggest storyline, right?
Yeah, I think it is. And then when you're limping, the vultures start circling, right? Mm-hmm. Tennessee starts circling, Georgia starts circling. They're in that kid's house that they built a relationship with, that they trust, saying, hey man, this youngster doesn't understand this conference. Look what he's done. There's already cracks in this program. Look what's happening. You guys got 3 losses for the first time in 16 years. It's fragile right now. Coach DeBoer, once again, a great coach, man. Hey, like you said, Boogie, I backed Washington, right? Shoot, man, I bet on him in the ship. I have a lot of respect for him. Like Coach Rice said, he like Heupel is quite the offensive mind that I have a ton of respect for. What he's coming in to do right now, the SEC is as competitive as it's been in a long time. You can't stack talent anymore. We all know about NIL. We know about transfers. Look at the injection of great coaches that you have into this conference. Look at Lane Kiffin sitting there now, Hugh Freeze. I mean it's rough out there right now, man. So there's cracks. He's going to have his work cut out from him from day one, and that was kind of my point with Washington. When he stepped into Washington, expectations weren't this. This is a whole new bag of fried chicken right here.
Yes, totally different. And that's why I mentioned earlier, it is going to be critical to who he brings in as his DC. He has to have some type of ties to the SEC or, as far as just a recruiting standpoint. And then, to get guys in this current class, we've been talking about it today. These guys that are just recently signed in December, they're going to be granted release of an NLI if they want to leave. I mean,
Amari Jefferson.
Amari, yeah, cough. And there's a couple other guys that's been floating around. Maybe not to Tennessee that Tennessee been looking at, but hey, you're silly as a football program if you're not. Hey, what they got going on there? What they got? I'm gonna take that player. I'm gonna take that player. Let's talk to this player. Hey, we're trying to devour Alabama's roster right now and their recruiting class. Come here. You don't know what's going to happen there. We're stable. We got stability. Come win a championship with us. That's what every program's doing. It's not just Tennessee. It's Florida State. It's Texas. It's Georgia. It's Tennessee. I mean, it's everyone. And, it's example Ryan Williams. I mean, and I know we're going to get into that later, but yeah, it's what's happening. The floodgates are about to open.
It's actually it's the perfect segue because we've been talking about Alabama for 46 minutes. And now it's time to talk about the fallout. It's time to talk about what Coach Rice just mentioned, all the guys that are now on the table. Now you got an opportunity. Jeff Puckett drops a $5 super chat, says, guys, he can coach offense, and Bama is loaded with defensive talent. If he comes up with a QB, they can be tough to handle. Look, 100%. 100%. How many of these guys are going to hit the portal? How many guys are going to look elsewhere? There's already one on the table. His name is Isaiah Bond. I think he was their top most productive receiver.
He's in the portal. He was the one that caught the ball against Auburn.
He is in the portal. It's going to happen. We're going to talk about a guy that just decommitted in the class of 24 that Tennessee has an opportunity to get on campus. I get it. Jeff, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. Like DeBoer could work out at Alabama, but there are cracks. There are cracks. Robert for $10. What is up, Robert? Good to see you in the chat, my friend. Says Bama won't be getting the Saban discount, so recruiting will take a few steps back. Go join the Volunteer Club. You can do that. We got a link in the description below where you can go join the Volunteer Club. You can get involved in the NIL game. Man, I really don't want to go back. I don't want to go back and talk about Alabama, but a point that Josh Pate brought up was talking about how Alabama doesn't have the money to compete. Like, that's not just a narrative. That's the reality. They don't have the money. Like, look, we had Bennett Warren on the show, and he sat here and said it wasn't about money. We didn't talk money. I'm coming here for the relationships, for the coaches. That's why I'm coming to Tennessee. Nick Saban. I'm Nick Saban. Come to Alabama. Done. I'm coming to Alabama. It's not about necessarily NIL. Now they don't have the money. You got a different coach. Guess who's going to funnel NIL money? Well, that'll be the guy sitting in the office down the hallway from DeBoer. That will be Nick Saban, a guy that's got car dealerships, a guy that's got generational wealth. Josh Pate's already putting the narrative out there that Saban is going to fund NIL. But we can compete with that. Go join the Volunteer Club, like Robert says. Happy anniversary to you and the missus. I saw on Facebook. Celebrated their anniversary, went out for a great dinner. And then Robert said, I need some orange juice and cereal, and they celebrated at the grocery store. So congratulations, Robert, to you and the miss. It's kind of fun that I opened up my Facebook page now, and it's just me and Talkin VAWLS fans. I get to connect with you guys. It's a lot of fun. John Watts for 10. Will Bama still get favorable officiating without Saban?
If it's against Tennessee, yeah.
I think it depends on if they're in the mix. If
the referees still work for Saban's car dealerships, yes, then right.
Yeah. Down the street at the insurance place.
Yeah. All right, let's talk some Tennessee football. How does this thing impact Tennessee? I've already made a couple of videos talking about this. right after Nick Saban retires. Steve Wiltfong logs the crystal ball for George Macintyre, predicts him to Tennessee. I think On3 has had a couple of predictions come in for George Macintyre for Tennessee. I'll just go ahead and put his profile on the screen. And I want to talk about this because I've talked about it. I've beat this dead horse and talked about the importance of getting George in the boat. And look, I know some of you guys have commented and said, what about Jake Merklinger, Boogie? He's pretty good. Jake Merklinger has huge balls. I'm coming to compete. I don't care about Nico. I don't care about George. I'm coming to compete. I love Jake Merklinger. But you got to recruit a quarterback every cycle. And George Macintyre is the quarterback. He was the premier quarterback this cycle on 3 industry rankings. 5-star quarterback, top 15 player, number 2 ranked quarterback in the country. Coach Jay, he's the Nico of this class. How important is George Macintyre?
Extremely important. He's the linchpin of the class. He's what you're going to build the entire thing around. I think we got off to a nice little jump, but make no mistake about it, he could really kick this thing off in a big way. He's going to be the follow-up to Nico, right? So
Yep.
he's the stability of the program that can move you into having 5 years, 5, 6, 7 years of a very, very stable competing program, something that Tennessee has been missing for a long time now, right? And he's tailor-made for it, just like Nico was. So I think it's beautiful, man. And it's not only that, it's a really rich talent pool in Tennessee this year, which is very nice. And when you can, land that crown piece of it, your Ethan Utleys are going to be that much easier, right? All those little pieces in the state are going to be that much easier. You're going to get a look from everyone who does passing league with them, or 7-on-7 with them, or who's played against them, or has respect for them, or has watched him from afar. It's just those 5-stars got extra little shine on them, and kids like shiny things. So it's huge, man. It's absolutely huge.
Yeah.
Let me lay this out, and then we'll throw it to Coach Rice. Let me tell you guys why George Macintyre is coming to Tennessee. Those of you that are doubting, those of you that say Boogie is so optimistic, he's sunshine pumps, he says everybody's coming to Tennessee. So George Macintyre, all the national media was saying Alabama. All along, Austin Price at VolQuest was saying Tennessee's in a good spot. Tennessee's in a good spot. Tennessee's in a good spot. Guys, Tennessee. National media, all Alabama. Nick Saban retires. Crystal ball for George Macintyre to Tennessee. On 3, predictions, George Macintyre to Tennessee. George Macintyre visited for the Georgia game, and a lot of people were worried about that. They were worried about the outcome. George basically said, I don't freaking care. I don't care. Everybody loses to Georgia. It is what it is. He said in that interview, I'm done taking visits. I'm not taking any more visits. He said, I am not attending any junior days. No junior days. I've seen it all. I've experienced it all. I've got the relationships. I'm going to make my decision. Y'all want to take a wild guess who's going to be here on January the 20th for Junior Day? Y'all want to take a wild guess? Coach Rice, you want to take a guess? Oh, hey. George is going to be here. Do you know when he's going to commit, Coach Rice? Yeah. Any idea? When? When?
Very soon. Like within the next 2 weeks. Like maybe Junior Day.
Next week, maybe. Maybe Wednesday to Friday. Yeah. Maybe Wednesday through Friday. George Macintyre is going to commit. That sound good to you? Y'all doing anything? Y'all do anything next Wednesday through Friday? Or you think we'll be right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network doing a live stream covering the commitment of George Macintyre, who just so happens to be trending to Tennessee, and then after he commits, guess what? He's going to be on campus. You know who else is going to be on campus? Ryan Williams, 5-star wide receiver. Cam Sparks, 4-star wide receiver. Marcus Harris, 4-star wide receiver. You don't think everything freaking Josh Heupel does is calculated? Coach Rice, how big is it? Speak. The microphone is yours.
Yes. It is massive. Hey, and I'm perfectly fine, Coach Jay, that I don't get to use this dog in our player breakdown because he's going to be already committed. Hey, I'm perfectly fine with it. That's the only way that I was fine with it because he was already committed. Hey, and let's just say he's going to be the first of many dominoes to fall because, hey, once we get that star QB in that's from this area, that's the key point. Key point, very key point. He's got the groundwork. He plays in 7-on-7s with several of the guys that we've recruiting, and Cam Sparks and Rodarius Jackson and a couple other guys. I'm telling you, the week after he commits, the week after that junior day, we will have 2 more guys in the boat that week. And I guarantee one of them's going to be named Cam Sparks. The other one's going to be named Rodarius Jackson. You can mark it down right now. As soon as that junior day is over, that next week, when George is already committed, hey, he's
taking notes. He's taking notes. He's getting ready for the film breakdown.
I'll be ready for my text receipts. I'll be ready.
I love it. I love it.
I love that Coach Jay's taking notes.
It's gonna be good.
Hey, bring it on. Bring it on. I got.
Wait a minute. Hold on. For those in the chat, we got 516 people watching.
Hey, Wayne Utley. I dropped Ethan Utley's breakdown, so that's not who I'm bringing.
It's not going to be going.
Was that your guess? Was that your guess?
That was my guess for you.
Okay,
But as soon as I saw that, I was like,
I'd run the option.
Yep.
Back in the
Coach Jay told me he's like, I'm giving Coach Rice a little teaser here that I'm not using Utley. For those of you that are like, what in the world is going on? Coach Jay is a defensive coordinator out in California. Coach Rice is an offensive coordinator right here in Tennessee. Me and Coach Jay did a lot of live film breakdowns last year. Coach Rice wants to get involved. We were saying, how can we do this with 2 different coaches and manage this? So what we're going to do is we're going to break down the state of Tennessee. Coach Jay gets to pick anybody he wants, defensive player in the state of Tennessee. Coach Rice, offensive player, state of Tennessee. They're going to break down some tape. They're going to give you 4 to 5 plays for both players. You, the chat, gets to decide. How about this? Y'all are always wanting free merchandise from me. Coach Jay wearing a Buck Fama shirt. Coach Rice pimped out. All the Talkin VAWLS merch. Send it to me, Boogie, for free. So here's what's going to happen. Whoever wins gets their paycheck. Whoever wins gets the Chosen One merch. Whoever loses, you got to buy it yourself. The chat, we will put a poll up in the chat. You guys will decide. It's coming up tentatively the last Wednesday of the month. I think that's what we're looking at because coming up on January the 24th, that is our charity live stream for the Fisher House Foundation. It's basically like a Ronald McDonald House for military veterans that have to go through surgeries or whatever the case. They provide housing for the families. We want to support our military. We love our military, so that's what we're going to do on January the 24th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to have VolQuest, Eric Kane, and Matt Ray will be in the house. A to Z Sports is going to be in the house. Ben McKee is going to be here. Who's he bringing with him? I mean, I've heard he does a little show called the Swain Event. He also does Go Vols 247. Which way does he lean? I don't know. The ball's in his court. He gets to decide. We've also got maybe, I hate to keep saying the name, but I've already talked to Reed Bacon, and he's like, Boogie, I'm in. I'll talk to the big fella. If he says no, I'm in. If you'll take me, I'd love to be on there. We're going to have pancakes and bacon. Maybe we'll just eat a little bacon without the pancakes. We shall see. Dauber, the X Factor, Coach Jay, Coach Rice, Dustin Sellers, Matt Begley, hopefully Vols JP. Everybody's going to be here. It'll be probably a 2 to 3 hour stream. Every donation, every ad revenue, everything goes to the Fisher House Foundation. So I hope you guys will save up. Come hang out. That'll be a fun one. And I think we'll do that live film breakdown going the week after that. Wednesday, what is it, the 31st, I think? We'll see. 31st. We'll see. Stay tuned. It's going to be a fun one. I want to do this. I mean, we're already an hour in, but I still want to do it anyway because this is so much fun. I want to share up George Macintyre's film because this is his junior season highlights, even though maybe we'll do a film breakdown on it. I don't know. Let's go through this a play at a time. I'll play one play at a time and let you guys kind of talk about it. So take a look at this one. Little play action. Watch the athleticism. Rolls to his left, throws across his body on the money. Let's go back. Let's take one more look. You guys soak it in. You guys just tell me what you see here. We'll let Coach Rice go first and then Coach Jay.
Just pure athleticism, man. You see the throwing off of different platforms, being able to, get out of the pocket, throw on a dime. It's everything Coach Heupel wants in his quarterbacks. We see it with Nico. It's the same traits. It's just a guy that's mobile, has great, arm strength, being able to throw the ball all over the place, but at the same time being able to, make off schedule plays, and that's one thing that Coach Heupel loves in his quarterbacks, and that's what we got in this dude in George Macintyre.
Let's actually let Coach Jay take the second play. So, Coach, take a look
All
at
right.
this one, and then you comment on this one.
Yeah, sure thing.
I think this is more of a clean
out of
play.
deuces. Yeah, it was just a quick pop, slant route to the inside slot. Looked like it was to the S slot receiver there on the top side. But you see how quick he just deals that out, right? It's just like catch in, pop back 2 steps, takes a little bit of a hop. They'll teach him to get that out just a tad quicker, believe it or not, even though he is extremely quick. A little bit of a economy of motion. But you know what? That was true of Nico too, right? They'll just clean that up just a little bit, right, Coach Rice? But just really economical, even for a high school kid. Just dealt that, slant 30 yards really quick, right? And the other thing, man, George, when you watch his film, him and Nico like lead people brilliantly. Like they hit people in stride, like them running perfectly. And when they do miss one, it's like the next throw they come back with is like the prettiest throw you've ever seen. They both kind of have that quality to them.
All right, let's take a look at the next play here, Coach Rice. Again, athleticism, dude. I mean, come on. Who does that look like? Who does that look like? Hold on a second. Who does this look?
It's a mixture of our boy Nico and our previous boy Hendo Cinco.
And yeah, I'm the first one. The reason I'm so excited about this film, because going back to the live film breakdown, right? Deuce Knight versus George. I'm like, I want Deuce because of the athleticism. We didn't see that from George. So maybe Coach Rice, you're onto something here talking about the offensive line, because I've read that multiple places that his offensive line was trash this year, and now we are seeing more athleticism from George. It excites me, man. You see that escapability. He does have that Nico-esque factor. Go ahead.
And throwing, I mean, just look at the throw on the money. On the money. I mean, where else? Like, he keeps his eyes up the field, escapes the pressure, keeps his eyes up the field, and on the money, and creates a big play out of a play that looked like it was going nowhere.
Do they show it from the reverse angle after that? Is that what they were getting ready to do? But either way, hey, Coach Rice, it looked like to me that he went through 4 progressions while he was on the fly there and moving. So to me, that's one of those big things like that I look for in a quarterback is how smooth they go through those progressions. It's one of the reasons I picked on Joe so much. It's one of the reasons I was so high on Nico in that game is how quickly he was flying through his progressions. There were multiple Nico plays where he went through 4 progressions before bailing out of the pocket under duress. So those little things seem small, but when you have a fully functional offensive line, quarterbacks like that make people look silly when they get time.
Play if you can't play this play. I just want to see what the route concept of it is, and then what they do after the play breaks down.
Is this the same play? Because it looks it's more impressive. It's more impressive from this angle. Shout out to Zachary Barg for becoming a member of the channel, guys. You want to be a part of the family? Hit that join button down below. It's $1. $1. That's it. $1. That's all we ask for. We got hey. We are less than 200 subscribers away from 25,000. Let's make it happen. When I started this channel 8 years ago, that was never a concept. Money was never a concept. It was, hey, let's get on here and have some fun. Guess what? I'm still having fun. So shout out, appreciate the memberships. Guys, hit that join button. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, and if it's the same thing, if there's a mesh point, pause it at the mesh point. It's always kind of nice to take a peek at that. See, quick. He could have sold it a little quicker, but the end's crashing on you pretty hard. Go ahead, Coach.
Play it 1 more second. I want to see what. Okay.
It's
a bubble. It's a bubble slant. It's a bubble slant concept. And he's reading the
Walk
front
us through
side
that. Walk us through that.
All right. So he's
for
reading
dummies.
what he is.
For dummies.
He's reading the outside linebacker or the key guy.
Here?
Yeah, right there. Yes, right there. And he's reading to see what he does. Does he go down to the flat, which may be, it depending on what defense they're in, that may be his coverage. He may have to go down to the flat and cover that bubble. Well, you got the slant coming in behind it. But the key is And that's what he's doing. He's reading that linebacker. But the key is the defense got pressure in his face, so he has to make an off-schedule play. So you go ahead and run the play.
And not just one point of pressure, it should be noted. Pressure from A gap and
yep.
C gap, which
Yes.
A gap pressure is always the worst pressure to
Yes,
deal with.
because it's right there in your face, makes you off platform in every circumstance.
Let's walk through it a little bit more. Here comes the pressure. Now what are we doing?
So now he's just trying to collect himself. But you see where his eyes are. He's trying to see how he can get out of the pressure. And then as soon as he escapes that first guy, look at where his eyes go.
And you know what I love about his eyes too, Coach Rice, is his eyes are peeking at the backside pressure to his left-hand side. But look at his right-hand side, right?
Yeah.
He already knows he can dust these two dudes, right, with the juke. So he just needs to worry about where that backside is so that he can slip through and find his next progressions. Beautiful work.
Yep. All right, scoots up.
That's my favorite part right here. It's like, what?
Favorite part.
I mean, come on, dude.
Then
you're dead to rights.
Instantly, after he completes the spin move, look at where his eyes go.
Downfield.
Right there.
Always.
Up the field. He's reading the guy crossing the field and then instantly sees the guy coming out open over here on the left side.
Yep. Gets his hips squared, swiveled.
Off platform, complete, gets his hips turned, shoulders square, makes a dime. And that's why I'm upset, because that's not going to be the guy on my field breakdown.
Yeah,
dude,
no easy wins today, sir.
That's 4 plays. What did we watch? 4 plays? 3 plays, really.
3 plays.
You're not hype about George Macintyre? I'm going to take one last look at this play, and we're not going to speak. We're just going to let George speak for himself, and then we're going to move on. This play, man, it's sweet baby Jesus, 6 pound, 8 ounce Jesus. I apologize for saying that George Macintyre didn't have elusiveness.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Watch the whole line. How much time? Just watch him. That's what he had all year.
That spin move, man. But like you said multiple times, and it's something that, when we talk about Nico, right? It's his eyes are constantly downfield. He wants to throw the football. He's making plays, he's buying time, but he wants to throw the football. So let's continue this George Macintyre, Nick Saban conversation. Let's talk about the George effect, the GMAC effect, right? Because a certain kid decommitted from Alabama, and now he's scheduled to take a visit. And this is a guy, maybe it's a pipe dream. Maybe it is a long shot. Maybe Tennessee has no shot. But the thing, again, timing-wise, right, it's worth recapping, worth going back to George Macintyre. I'm not taking any more visits. George Macintyre is scheduled to come off the board next Wednesday through Friday. Guess what? Junior Day on Saturday. He's going to be in town. I think GMAC is going to commit prior to Junior Day. I think it's happened Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, somewhere around in there. He's going to announce that, I think, in the next couple of days, and then we're going to get it scheduled. We're going to cover it right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. All the naysayers, all the haters are going to say, well, you schedule these live commitments, you're a jinx. Get over it. We're gonna live stream it right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. He's going to commit prior to Junior Day. And then Ryan Williams, 5-star wide receiver. I've been talking a lot about Lance Hurd and saying that he, coming out of high school, second highest rated prospect behind Nico. Guess what? Ryan Williams is higher than him coming out of high school. He was a class of 25 guy, reclassified to the class of 24, going to be here on the 20th. Maybe it's a long shot, man. Maybe, a lot of people think Auburn, a lot of people say Texas in the mix, Texas A&M. Coach Jay, do you know much about Ryan Williams? What do you think about his game? Think Tennessee has a shot?
They have a shot, sure, and they have a shot because of what we were talking about, right? Look at our quarterback situation here right now. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't think I was aware that he actually reclassified. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
We'll see where he is from a mental standpoint, from a physical standpoint. Obviously, Josh still demands his receivers to be physical and block, even if that means Squirrel White getting laid out from time to time. The effort's there for Squirrel White. He still puts on his hat and buckles up and goes out there. Yeah, so I'd love to see him. I think, maybe the only thing that could slow him down is, Mike Matthews already being on campus. But guys, hey, we've talked about it multiple times on this channel. We do not want any players at the University of Tennessee that do not want to be here because there is another 5-star or 4-star or kid in their place. We want a kid who can come in here, compete, and win a job if there's another dog in that position, right? And let the best man win and the chips fall where they may. That's what you want in a healthy program. I think the Vols have a good shot, a better than a puncher's shot, once you get Georgia in the boat. So I think you could kind of ixnay Texas out of this list, Texas A&M out of this list. I don't know how dear Auburn is to them, and I don't know how quickly that relationship could be built between DeBoer, but they got a real shot at this kid and a real shot at having the best wide receiver class in the country by a lot.
Oh yeah, and
You and
the
him,
thing-
it is the best. I don't think
yeah,
there's
oh
a
yeah,
question.
yeah, it would be the best. But it is a like I agree with Coach Jay, but I still it's a tough stretch to come in late. But at the same time, when you got the court, and I sent Boogie a message this earlier, the push for Ryan Williams will be QB to play with opportunity, and then NIL. We're still wondering where that seating money went. I know some of it's going to Herd.
Yep.
But do we still have some in the bank? And I know we do. Jason Swain said it the other day on the Swain event. NIL is not the problem. It's just not. And this guy, if you combine him with Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley, best wide receiver class in the nation, and then put them on the field, all three together, their speed, their elusiveness, their route running, it's over. We will be averaging 50 points a game every year, and they're unguardable. And this dude, if you haven't seen him, I watched some of the Under Armour American practices because I don't have a life.
None of us do, Coach Rice.
Me neither.
This dude is unreal. Talking about
Track
shifty.
speed.
Yeah.
Track speed, Tyreek Hill shiftiness. I mean, making you look silly in a phone booth is what this dude has. And I know people are going to talk about Amari Jefferson. Yes, if that's a route that is available, I think we need to look at it. But if this dude is saying he's interested, he wants to see what Tennessee has to offer and come to campus, that's the key. We got to get him to campus.
Yes, that's the key.
And that's and that's the way it is with every recruit. You got to get him to campus. If this dude is a real possibility of joining this 24 class.
Yeah. And look, for the receiver position in Heupel's offense, it's got to make sense financially. And it doesn't mean that we can't spend a lot of money on him. But, if you're a kid who's not a defensive end, not a quarterback, and not an offensive tackle, and you're looking to rob a bank, Oxford's like 337 miles the other way from from Knoxville. So there's a program down there that will pay overpriced for certain players. We don't need to worry about that. We need to be frugal and drop the bag when players deserve the $8 million bag drop, and not before and not after.
Exactly.
That's put the bullseye emojis in the chat. Those of you that get frustrated, those of you that want this player or that player, that's the key. The quarterback, we got. Offensive tackles, we're working on. Edge rushers, I think we got some of the best in the country. So you got to realize that that's where we are spending our money. And Culberson said there in the chat that Swain said highly competitive is the words that Swain used. Let's talk about another guy. Let's continue to talk about the George effect. The George effect. Another guy. Is this who you said? We're going to spoil the 31st. We're going to spoil the 31st. Yeah. Guess who else is going to be in town?
Player.
You know what does this remind you guys of? Does this not remind you of the Nico effect? When Nico committed and he was always in town, right? It was every time there was a big recruiting event, a junior day, whatever it was, Memorial Day, all the big recruiting events, Nico was always here. George is going to be that guy. Guess what? George is a Vol. Spoiler alert. He is a Vol. He's going to be here every time there's a big event. Junior Day on the 20th. Cameron Sparks going to be here. 4-star wide receiver. But the most important part here, and I'll throw it right back to Coach Rice, even though he just went on his rant, I'm going to throw it right back to him because it's his guy. It's coming up on the 31st. Spoiler alert. It's the number 3rd ranked player in the state. Coach Rice, 6'3", 210, wide receiver out of Chattanooga, 4-star prospect, pretty high grades there. How important is it to lock down the border and keep a kid like Cameron Sparks home?
All of, but him especially. This dude is an elite athlete with size and speed. And getting this dude in the boat, yeah, I've already said it once, guys. He plays on the same 7-on-7 team as George Macintyre. This dude is in the boat as soon as George commits. And I hope he kind of delays until after the video. But hey, this dude,
personal agenda. Personal agenda.
No, I'm just playing. I gotta get that Chosen One t-shirt. But nah.
There you go.
But this dude is he's kind of he plays both sides of the ball, but he's different in ways more than one as far as his wide receiver skill set. This dude is fast. He's tall. He makes 50-50 catches look easy. And that's someone that George already has chemistry with. And I think he is the number one skill playmaker target for Tennessee and George Macintyre going into the 25 class. I think I know there's other top-rated skill guys out there, but as far as what George Macintyre wants, this is the guy, and him and David Sanders. But this dude,
yeah, he kind of reminds me of a blend of Brew McCoy and Robert Meacham. He's got a nice
size,
blend of both.
Man.
He's got that size, but he's got that like really smooth, crisp, nice route running. He pulls everything down like Meach did. A special kid who is always in the right place at the right time. Sometimes you get these wide receivers. Brazel's kind of one of them where, he might not be the fastest one out there, but he just has a knack for the ball. He runs really beautiful routes and he's got Spider-Man hands, so a great kid. And like Coach Rice said, he's got that chemistry with George, right? So that's going to go a long way for you.
And one last thing I'll add on to him. And you're talking about Robert Meacham. Go look at some of his highlights. He catches plenty of 5-yard hitches and takes it to the end zone. Where do we remember seeing that against California?
Robert Meacham. That little hitch spin move to the house over and over and over.
And this dude, you go watch his highlights. He does it over and over again.
I see William in the chat is saying, wait, defensive back or wide receiver? Listed as an athlete, Tennessee is recruiting him as a wide receiver. That's what he wants to play. The next biggest competition is Michigan, but they want him to play defense. So I think that, his relationship with George, the fact that Tennessee wants him to play offense, I think that all plays into our favor. I want to talk about another guy that's going to be in town on Junior Day, the 20th. He's a California kid, so maybe we'll throw this one out to Coach Jay first. Marcus Harris, 5'11", 180, modern-day Santa Ana, California, 4-star prospect, top 100 dude, another guy that's going to be in town. You see Texas, Oregon. Wait a minute, Boogie, how can you talk about this kid? Tennessee is nowhere on the list. They're nowhere on the list, but guess what? He's going to be in town on the 20th. What do you know about Marcus Harris, Coach?
I'll tell you what, there was I think it was 2 years ago when I first started coming on this channel, and I kind of let something slip to Dauber when we were on the air that I was at a modern day practice and there was a lot of buzz about Tennessee, and Dauber got really excited about it on air. Coach Jay just didn't say that for fun, right? That was a real thing that actually happened, and you've seen interest from modern day players since then, right? It might not have bubbled over, but we've had interest. We've had offensive linemen interested, right? We've had a running back interested. There is that built-in relationship there, and I'll tell you, there's support staff on modern day that is close with support staff and people who have been around the Tennessee organization since back when Bryce was at Cathedral. and back when Coach Jay was around as well. So there is a built-in relationship, is what I will say, that can kind of spark something. And I'll tell you, there is there is very few better programs in this country than Modern Day in Santa Ana to do that with. They are a parental powerhouse. They are in the top 5 in the country every year, right, Coach Rice? Just
Yeah,
every year, every single year. This is where Bryce transferred to after Cathedral. They have one of the best quarterback recruits in the country. Matt Barkley went there. You could just go on and on and on and on about the talent that has come out of Modern Day. Kids come from all over the country to go to Modern Day. It is blue blood, and it's a true powerhouse in California. And if you are playing there, you are special, full stop. And Mr. Harris is is no exception to this rule. An absolute freak on the football field, well coached, a good kid, good stock, good family, well disciplined, and a worker. One of those kids that will flat out outwork anyone else on the football field. Someone you definitely want at the University of Tennessee. And I didn't even actually, believe it or not, know that he was coming to campus yet. But trust me, you put a big smile on Coach Jay's face over here, Boogie, because this kid can absolutely play at an elite level.
Let's roll in. I want to talk about transfer portal. That's what everybody's been waiting on. Lance Hurd. Maybe we should kick it off with that. Maybe we should kick it off with Lance Hurd. We're live on a Friday night. Talkin VAWLS live on a Friday night. We got 530 people watching live. I just texted Mrs. Boogie. I said, apparently Friday night date night's off the table. I think we need to do Friday night Talkin VAWLS apparently every week. What is it? Is it the new? Why are you guys here? The chat's kind of quiet. The chat is kind of quiet tonight. Like they're just sitting back. Maybe they're sipping their bourbon. They're like, I'm going to listen to Boogie and Coach Jay and Coach Rice just talk to me. I'm just going to listen to them talk to me. Like they're kicked back in their recliner. They got it pulled up on their big screen. I'm glad that you guys are here. We appreciate the support. Smash the thumbs up. Share it out. All that stuff, man. All that stuff. Hit the join button. Become a member. Go buy the merch. Do all the things. Maybe we need to go live every Friday night. I have no idea. I go live every Tuesday night. That not good enough? I got to have these two clowns on here that know way more about football than I know. Let's talk about the transfer portal. Let's talk about the Nick Saban impact. Coach Rice, give me a player from Alabama or maybe from Washington that you got your eye on. We're going to talk about Lance Hurd coming up here in just a minute. Don't worry. We're going to get into that. But give me a player maybe you got your eye on that could be entering the portal or maybe has already entered the portal that Tennessee should target, in your opinion.
Khalil Muhammad from Washington, the cornerback, top cornerback in the nation, according to a lot of PFF rankings. He Jabbar Muhammad, Khalil's his brother.
Yep.
Got mixed up. But yeah, he is elite. He locked down one side of the field. I know we got 2 corners in the portal already. From the portal already. I've said it a billion times on this channel. If you want to win national championships, you have to have elite players, and that's proven it. And that's what you go get in the portal. You don't go get someone that is a flight risk, and someone that has, if you're just trying to take a chance on. No, that's more than likely that's not what you're doing. I know that's not what Heupel does. That's not what they do their NIL on. It's guys that are going to come in and be game changers. And this dude, you put him on one side, you put Jamal McCoy on one side, and you put Ricky Gibson in the slot, or whatever you want to do. This is a game changer. If you go get this dude, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying he's even scheduled a visit or anything. This is fresh. This is brand new. He just entered the portal 3 hours ago. But hey, if you want to win championships, this dude has been in a national championship, and he's locked down several top wide receivers. He followed whoever they played, the top wide receiver they played. And this dude is a legit defensive back who a one and done guy will lock down one side of the field. And I know that's one thing we've been against is having one and done guys. But hey, you want 2024 to be the let's do this thing. Go get this All-American corner and say let's go win a national championship.
I think when you had 7 DBs enter the portal, I don't have a problem with a one
Exactly.
and done. I don't have a problem with a one and done coming in, especially 2023 All Pac-12 second team, 2023 preseason All Pac-12 first team, 2023 All Pac-12 second team. I got no problem bringing this dude in for one and done. But this is a pipe dream. I don't know that there's any reality to this, right? I don't think I've seen this anywhere. He just like Coach Rice said, he entered the portal a matter of hours ago. What about you, Coach Jay? Anybody from Washington, Alabama, anybody you got your eye on that you're saying, hey, if it's me, I'm going immediately to get him from the portal?
This kid's a good one, right? A good kid. By the way, 3-star U kid, right? A former 3-star kid.
All 3-stars suck, right?
Yeah. All 3-stars suck. 3-star kid from DeSoto, Texas. So a good program. Don't sleep on those 3-star kids from really good programs. They can really pan out in a hurry. So, is there an exact kid? I don't know if they're shaking the tree with like Isaiah Bond as well. We're trying to beef up that wide receiver room. So he certainly would be a good steal as well if you could get your hands on him. I see someone talking about Kool-Aid in the chat. I believe Kool-Aid declared for the NFL draft already. Yeah. And quite frankly, I think you're going to see a lot of upperclassmen from Bama forego the portal and probably declare for the draft, the ones that DeBoer can't recruit. But for me, if I'm Tennessee, I'm going with the elite of elite, and I'm only going with ones that fit our culture, fit our profile, and fit our team. Protect what Heupel has built at all costs is the name of the game to me. And we're close right now, guys.
Yes,
we are getting very, very close. It's an exciting time to be a Tennessee football fan. That's for dang sure.
I swear we're just the only guy we still need as far as our roster goes for next year is a left guard. And I'm not saying Carrick can't work his tail off, work just straight, have a great off season and be that guy next year. But as far as proven talent, and that's the only spot that I see as a hole on our roster. Our roster is national championship built. And just imagine where we were 3 freaking years ago.
Yeah.
That Heupel's already got us to this spot that we're sitting here saying our roster is national championship worthy. I mean, just think about that for a second. Mm-hmm. And I mean, and going off of what Washington just talking about, the domino is going to fall. Will Rogers just entered the transfer portal again, who just transferred from Mississippi State to Washington. So we'll see. I'm telling you, it's we thought it was crazy. Just let Michigan come open. Let a couple other programs come open. It's about to get even crazier.
What is it? What do they get? 30 days?
30 days.
I mean, that's insanity. That's going to get us to the spring period. That's going to get us to the spring transfer portal period.
And that's NLI too. It's not just transfer portal. It's NLI now.
So they get 30 days too?
They get 30 days. Okay. After a coach has changed, you can back out of your NLI. It's the same rules. So that's why all this about Amari Jefferson came to fruition. I looked it up earlier. It is, in fact, they changed that rule last year that if a coaching change has happened, it's not just transfer portal. You can back out of your NLI if you signed in the early signing period.
Which I can't remember. I think we talked about it before we went live. That Matt Ray from BallQuest said that Amari Jefferson probably going to chill, wait and see who the hire is, and then go from there. And you can't blame a kid for that. Why wouldn't you do that, right?
Yep.
Jonah for 2 says, put Coach Jay on the field. We needed depth. We did that on Tuesday night. You should see him. He looks like he's straight out of the program. Ballfan25 becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that, brother. Hit that join button. Make it happen, boys. We're in the off season. We need your support now more than ever. Hit the join button. $1. I don't care. $1 freaking goes a long way. on the path to 25,000 subscribers. We appreciate that. Jeff Puckett said, Boogie, do I need to gift some memberships? I said, well, sure, why not? So Tentacle, Z-Flex, Fuzzy, Gary Robinson Jr., and Garrett22 all got a free membership courtesy of Jeff Puckett. Appreciate that, Jeff. Man, that's generous, just handing out free memberships. Wayne does the same. He gives 5 Talkin VAWLS memberships. Brandon Ramsey, Ricky Rude, Spoovzor, Rose Foops, Tyler, and Josh Smith all get free memberships, man. Shout out to Wayne. Shout out to Jeff. We appreciate you guys. Ryan Davis becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that. Talkin VAWLS Faithful, man. That's $5 a month. Those contributions, man, they go a long way. I'm grateful. I appreciate it. I appreciate the fact that we've got 550 people watching on a Friday night. That's absolute insane to me. We're going to wrap this thing up. We're going to talk a little transfer portal news. I know the big one for everybody, right, is Lance Hurd from LSU, the offensive tackle, number 2 ranked offensive tackle in the transfer portal. What is going on? Boogie, you keep telling me he's in the boat, but he's not committing. What is going on? Man, this guy, you know, we laughed about Gerald Mincey going to Kentucky. This is an upgrade. Lance Hurd is an upgrade. Number 1 ranked player that LSU recruited in the class of 23. You want to go grading on3.com. If you want to look at the grade that they give him, he's behind only Nico in everybody that Josh Heupel has recruited. 6'6", 340. He wants to play left tackle. That's it. He wants to play left tackle. Guess what? So did Gerald Mincey. Gerald Mincey wanted to play left tackle too. And John Campbell said, no, I'm going to hold down left tackle. Gerald Mincey, you can stay over there at right tackle. There's been some weird cryptic tweets going out on social media, Coach Jay. I don't know if you've seen those from John Campbell, but he's going to move to right tackle. He is welcoming Lance Hurd. Austin Price has said it's a done deal. He dropped the GIF. Anybody that's a member of VolQuest knows what I'm talking about. That basically means Lance Hurd's in the boat. And then there's all this weird stuff. When is it coming? When is the commitment coming? Percy Lewis, offensive tackle from Mississippi State, cancels his visit. Why? Because Lance Hurd's in the boat. He's committed. It's a matter, according to Austin Price, it's a matter of dotting the I's and crossing the T's. I don't know what that means. He goes on to say, there are other factors involved. He is a Vol. This is weird, Coach Jay. Have you been following this much? I know you got a lot on your plate. I don't know how much you've been following this.
A little bit, other than like I obviously I saw the general quarters post, and I've seen a couple prominent YouTubers within the Tennessee family, post that he's already in the boat, and everyone freaking out because he hasn't come on yet.
Shout out to Blue Chip Breakdown for lying. Yeah. Stop telling people that he's committed. Stop spreading lies, bro. Like people commenting on me saying this is official. Hey, bro, chill. Like, let's wait till it's official before you tell people it's official. I love you. I appreciate the hustle. Stop telling lies, bro. I'm sorry, Coach Jay.
You're all right. You're all right. But I haven't followed up on too much of the little Twitter posts and things like that from him. But interesting that he hasn't popped on yet. Is he just waiting till Saban announced and the big news was out and he can have his moment? I don't know. So I'm not quite sure what's shaking there. Maybe y'all can educate me on it.
Coach Rice, what do you think? Crossing the T's and dotting the I's. Is it academic? Maybe.
That's maybe part of it. Part of it is NIL related. Maybe. Part of it is what promises has Tennessee made to him that he's just double checking. Maybe he wants to, it's kind of just weird how it's gone down. But at the same time, this kid is putting everything on, his future. So he wants to, like you said, cross all of his T's and dot all of his I's, make sure everything's exactly in order the way it's supposed to be. And NIL, academics, whatever it may be, which is very possible. Or he may be just, caring about his future teammate, make sure John Campbell ain't going to flip the script on somebody and, change his mind. I guess I'll transfer since he's coming here. So who knows what it is. But having this guy in the boat at left tackle and having John Campbell at the right, your bookends are set for next year. And Nico, of all people, is the happiest about that. I go ahead and tell you, I mean, Josh Heupel is having a few less, heart attacks about everything, about the, offensive line. But having this dude in the boat is major. And that's not just, and it's not just for next year. This dude has 3 years of eligibility left. So, hey, this is going forward not only for just Nico, but hey, our boy George Macintyre's sophomore year too.
That's what excites me is about the future. So now you just got to get Bennett Warren ready, right? You got to get him in football shape. Let's lean out. Let's add some good muscle, and you get Bennett Warren ready to play as a sophomore, and then Lance Hurd's got 2 more years with Bennett Warren, right? It's such a huge ad, man. And like I said, Gerald Mincy, we're making fun of him. We're talking about how we're going to eat him alive, and I think we are. I do think we are. But I wish he would have come back for 1 more year. But Lance Hurd's an upgrade. It is an upgrade at that tackle position. Tennessee Tater, what a great name. Tennessee Tater becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that, brother. Vol fan 25 for 5 says GBO. Tennessee will rise higher with hype and the transfer portal. Thank you, my friend, for the super chat. We still have, man, we're growing. We're growing. We got 555 people watching live right now. One last guy I want to mention from the portal is the guy that's going to be visiting this weekend, and that is Alabama tight end. I've zoomed in way too far on that. It drives me nuts. Like I zoom in on certain pages, and then it jacks up other pages. Miles Kitzelman, 6'5", 250. He's a junior. I think he's got 1 year of eligibility left, but I think he also has a waiver to potentially get another year because he played JUCO ball. Depth piece, right, Coach Jay? This is a depth piece, but I like the depth piece because we got Ethan Davis. We added Holden Stace through the transfer portal. If you're able to add another body, another guy that's got the size that Tennessee's looking for, the tight ends, they want 250. That's the weight they're always looking for. I like this. If he's going to be visiting this weekend, I think he'd be a good depth piece.
Yeah, absolutely. And as everyone knows, we certainly need the depth in the tight end room, right? We're sure up on our starters right now. Yeah, I think everyone's super excited about our situation. They're moving forward, but you're always just one injury away from popping someone up, and a kid that's been around a winning program, on multiple levels like this is just really, really key. Kid who's going to go in there and execute and do his job and keep his chin down. Awesome. Yeah, good stuff, man. I always take a good depth piece at tight end.
Yes.
We certainly need it. We certainly need it.
Culberson been a member for 22 months. Appreciate the support, brother. Star-studded rosters incoming. Who thought we would be here year 3? Cultivating championships. Yeah, it's. I think sometimes we forget that. I think sometimes we forget where we were at 3 years ago. Let's tie a bow on this live stream. We're way over an hour and a half. Coach Rice, what do you grade Josh Heupel? Let's go ahead and include Lance Hurd. Lance Hurd's in the boat. He's in. He's involved. What do you grade Heupel on in the portal for this cycle?
A, not A plus, but A. He's dang near close to an A plus, but A. He's hit every key piece that we talked about, and before the portal season started, we got corner. In fact, we got 2. We got tight end. That was major. May get 2. If I think that would be a massive depth piece as we get talked about. The only thing that we got to get a safety, but what's Jacoby Thomas bring? Is he going to be that safety that we've been needing for the last 3 or 4 years? No offense to Jalen McCullough because he was great his senior year, but we need to be more athletic on the back end. Maybe we have that in Andre Turntime. I mean, he played.
I think so. I really do think so.
He played a great Citrus Bowl, but that was one position we targeted in the offseason. What can we go get a star safety? And maybe that's one thing that we've got. But we got a left tackle. We got a wide receiver, an outside wide receiver to be more specific. The only 2 things that I kind of question, that the only way that would get this to an A plus, go get a left guard, go get a star safety. I think we're out on the safety. It may change. I mean, some safety from Alabama may jump in the portal and he has interest in Tennessee or Washington or Michigan, who knows, may jump in the portal and we make a run at him. But I keep saying it over and over again, that left guard position, it just scares me. We went into it. Luckily, we had I know Ollie Lane, he's involved for life, but he was limited to what he could bring. Karich has injury. We've saw it all year last year. He has major injury problems. So what's that leave? You got Jackson Lampley that you could maybe throw in there, but after that, what you got? You got Messiah Reddick, and then you got a bunch of freshmen. And I'm telling you, we're one or two injuries away on the offensive line. Even with adding Lance Hurd, we're one or two in. What happens if Javante Spraggins goes down again? What happens if Cooper Mays goes down again? Lord forbid, I hope not. But I still think we need to add at least one more offensive lineman to feel good going into 2024.
That's what scares you about 2025, right? We're talking about depth for 2024. You're talking about your starters for 2025. John Watts gives 5 Talkin VAWLS memberships. That is not cheap. We appreciate that, brother. Darren Hensley, Volcano, Tony Swanson, Josh Burns, and Nugs. What are you doing, Nugs? Nugs out here lurking. Nugs has been a member and a part of this community for years, and I've not seen him in the chat forever. He's not here on Tuesday nights. He's not commenting on videos. He's not hanging out. He's not talking. Where you at, bro? You over at Blue Chip Breakdown? You over with Sports Talk Jay looking for free comments? What are you doing, Nugs? I'm glad to see Nugs back in the chat, but I'm pissed that I have not seen him in the chat, and now he just got exposed.
I think I've seen him.
Where you seen?
I think I've seen him once or time in the halftime show with Cromp. I think I've caught him there. I think I've caught him. I think I caught him once or twice over there. But I mean, the halftime show's kind of the halftime show. There,
traders.
Right?
They're traders. Nope. Stop being us. No. They're traders. Yep. They're over there being active, talking in the chat, dropping super chats. They get exposed here. Nug, where you been, Nugs? Where you been? Coach Jay, let's tie a bow on this thing, brother. Tie a bow on this thing. Where would you grade the transfer portal? What do you want them to add? We're going to go ahead and say that Lance Hurd's in the boat.
Yeah, Lance Hurd's in the boat. I guess I agree with Coach Rice. You got to get that guard, and just continued depth along the offensive line would be good. 25. Yeah, I'm a little worried about it, but you put Zalance on this team, and it makes me feel a lot better about that class, right? Because I think what these kids needed was just a little time to mature. We've talked about it a bit on this channel. It's not that I think Sham's a bad player or that, Vyson Lang's a bad player. They're just offensive linemen, right? And those guys got to do a little bit of growing up like defense linemen. Usually they don't just walk in unless they're defensive ends, and start dominating like, 22-year-old men out there on the field when they're fresh out of high school, just not long enough in the beard. They throw a little milk on their face and the cat can lick it off, right? Just not men yet. So, as that kind of happens, I think it gets way, way better for Tennessee, and it gives you options. Someone mentioned in the chat, do you see them sliding Sham inside to guard? Now that Bennett Warren's on campus, you possibly could. You saw him in some jumbo formations at the at the end of the season. So that is a very real chance that could happen. And Sham would make one massive inside guard, right? That would be really scary. And you put him next to Zalance Hurd or Bennett Warren, is a junior or is a redshirt sophomore. And then Zalance Hurd on that team, Vyson Lang as well, who's got some age on him. Maybe you bring in another transfer portal 2 kid or 1 or 2 by then, and then you're not maybe feeling so bad about it. But as far as this transfer portal goes, I give Coach a solid A. I'm pretty dang high on Jermod McCoy, and I'm super high on Ricky Gibson. And when you put them together, that kind of solves our cornerback problem that we've been having. And spoiler alert, a little bit to the beginning and the breakdowns and the look aheads to next season. but Coach Jay has a really sneaking suspicion that we have solved our cornerback problem in totem this year. You know, I'd like to see a little more speed at the safety position. I think we are going to get faster this coming season at the safety position. And you know, Boo's just lurking, right?
Yeah.
And you don't get no faster than that, and it's explosive than that. So the future is bright. I give him an A. We'll see. This transfer portal thing is not done. As we all know, we just got that 30 days added on. And in addition, we'll have the spring when the portal opens up again, and we can add those depth pieces, or tend to be what come out of the spring. And I think one might be there. But yeah, I give this staff an A so far. If Lance gets in the boat, I give him an A.
I got one more small thing.
Shoot.
You think about last year's class. Who were we trying to go get? We were trying to go get Francis Malgoa, right?
Yep.
What is Lance Hurd now? He same correlation, same class, same position. It's massive to think of what that class was then as to what it is now. Adding Hurd to that class. So now you're talking about 25, like you said, Hurd, Lang,
Bennett Warren,
Umarov, Max Anderson, all these guys, and then you go get one, maybe two portal guys. All right, we'll be fine. I'm telling, like you said, Coach Jay, adding Hurd was massive because he has 3 years of eligibility. Massive for 2025, and guys, the sky's the limit. I've said it multiple times. I'm fully expecting either a national championship or at least competing in the Final Four in the semis the next year to 2 years. I think without a doubt it's playoff or bust this next year. And then if we make the playoffs, it's just going to get higher and higher and higher. That's how Tennessee's meant to be. That's how we will be. And us as Tennessee fans, let's strap up, let's rock and roll. Let's go win us a natty.
Let me hit a couple of super chats on the way out the door. Evan counts for 2. Reese Davis doesn't even have, I think we're a top 25 team. Didn't he rank Iowa ahead of Tennessee?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I saw that. What an idiot.
He moved them up 4 spots.
It's so dumb. That stuff means absolutely nothing. Logan Martin for 2. Why are we targeting Ryan Williams, not Jefferson? Because Ryan Williams decommitted. Amari Jefferson has not. Until he decommits, Tennessee cannot contact him. Somebody yelled at me for the video this morning. Why are you talking about Ryan Williams? He's not coming. Because he decommitted and he's visiting Tennessee on the 20th.
Yeah.
That's why I'm talking about him. Do I think he's coming to Tennessee? No, I mentioned I think he's going to Auburn. But sometimes we talk about things because they're newsworthy and worth talking about. David Franklin on the way out the door drops a 20 spot. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
David says, very late entry fee. Did I miss anything? LOL. Go back. You got an hour and 47 minutes to catch up on. My wife, I told her, I said, we'll do an hour, maybe an hour and a half. She's like, all right, I'll see you in 3 hours.
I told you
she already knows
tonight.
She already knows what's happening. This is a fun one, man. It makes me want to do Talkin VAWLS live every Friday night. I told you, we are committed this offseason. When news is out there, there's something we're talking about, we're going to do a live stream, whether it's the portal, whether it's recruiting, whatever the case may be. Guess what? The 20th, 8 days away, going to be a big weekend. Maybe we got something to talk about after that. We're going to try to do some fan call-in shows, all that good stuff. But that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. He's Coach Jay. He's Coach Rice. My name's Boogie Bentley.
Go big one.
Go big one.
Go big one.
That we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and